The story starts when both childhood friends were playing in the park. At the age of 12 years old, Shun insists of marrying Nana-chan. She then suddenly became wary and refused him, ultimately having his heart broken as he was rejected by his first love, feeling complete hopelessness. He questions what could be the reason, making her point out that he couldn't princess carry him. Happily smiling at the thought of being carried like a princess at the wedding, he then suddenly desperately carried him. Struggling at her weight, he dropped her, exclaiming to be too weak for her. Ever since then, he felt heartbroken and frustrated. After years of feeling depressed, he trained himself to forget that feeling. Although upon meeting his childhood friend, the feelings he once forget came back like a tidal wave, although Nana-chan doesn't seem to care much what had happened before, as her carefree attitude is so adorable, pointing out that she's too defenseless, even though he doesn't want to control her, pointing out she could wear whatever clothing she prefers. He worries of the inappropriate things would think about her. He grabbed her, exclaiming he's a man, and he should take action to make her understand, but not knowing his strength, it hurt her. He apologizes for his actions being so forceful. She then insists of holding hands properly, not going anywhere. He blushed the idea as he found the situation bad enough once again, making the love he tried desperately to forget seemingly blooming once again. His unresolved love once again came back, and in order to settle his broken heart, he went back to his childhood friend's house, although he seemingly is no the type to just let go, although knowing full well it's not worth to fall in love. They headed inside her room. Remembering the good old days of playing together, he felt different than before, pointing out that they grew up. She seemingly remembered the gifts he gave her, giving the idea that she treasured their childhood. She exclaims before he moved places he wasn't talking to her at all, pointing out that it seems like a breakup. Not knowing if they would meet up again, she became happy knowing the idea of seeing his face again. She then welcomes him back once again with her big Jigglypuff melon, striking his heart with love and affection. Shukun flustered at the idea as his heart won't stop fluttering. He ponders it's a waste to be running away from these emotions. Seeing her sweet smile pulls him back and towards her. As they sat down, she questions his re-educate words that he exclaimed earlier. This made him nervous, as he really can't say that he was going to teach her with his own body. He pointed towards his big jiggly melons popping out as her clothes is too revealing, asking if she should wear something unrevealing, although she disagrees as she dislikes the heat and likes to dress functionally. But even so, he pushed the idea that she might get in danger of being touched, asking to cover her chest for her own safety. She called out to his name, explaining his words being a great idea, although she wanted to worry more about being comfortable rather than what others might think of her. She also pointed out of being careful, as she already been stared at before. He always knew that she already thought of everything over, pointing out that she already did things on her own back then too. He then confronts her feelings being important too, but everyone around her would worry like her parents and siblings, although it may possibly make it worse for her boyfriend. Nana-chan seems to be confused hearing his words, but fortunately she reveals she doesn't have a boyfriend at the moment, giving relief to Shukun. Upon hearing this, he became calm, but she approaches her with curiosity, questioning if he has a girlfriend at the moment. Being Wei and trying to confirm things out, he exclaims if she's troubled, wondering if he has a girlfriend. She suddenly became flustered, trying to affirm their situation as she became touchy with him all of a sudden, and she pointed out it's right to be cautious. But even then he affirms not having one. He only warned her not be like her usual self with everyone, but the truth is if it's her, he doesn't mind if she became open and carefree. She suddenly became red, calling Shukun out for being a perv. She exclaims the mood being set up, and it wasn't like this before. He then leans towards her, calling out her feelings being like that due to them being together once again. They are interrupted as Nana-chan's mother came home, questioning if a visitor came by. Their situation almost escalated, making Shukun to ponder how does Nana-chan thought of him now. Shukun is suddenly recognized, seeing as how much he has grown over the years, gaining a lot of muscles and touching him all over. Nana-chan calls her mother out as she was touching him, calling it out as sexual harassment. Due to her clinginess, she gets questioned if she's allowed to, Although she assured their situation and is comfortable with one another, the mother suddenly understood that this must be the power of love. Shukun gets invited for lunch, but it seems like he already has plans for today. They questioned him if it was about his diet, assuring her mom is a nutritionist, as such he shouldn't worried about his gains. Nana-chan exclaims of wanting to know his preferences for the future, which he gladly accepted as her mother suddenly ponders of seeing the start of a family. They all enjoyed the lunch together, complimenting the taste. He gets questioned if it's his first time living alone. He exclaims of not wanting to bother his grandparents, as such he rented an apartment nearby. This is also due to his work being at the city hall. Nana-chan, on the other hand, will be starting working as a teacher at the kindergarten. Shukun suddenly exclaims of knowing a lot of people and being glad to meet her again. Seeing as it's a given, she invites him to hang out for the weekend. His platter gets noticed leaving carrots, as he doesn't eat them much. She insisted on feeding him personally, shocking Shukun as he never experienced this before. He gladly accepted it. Seeing the sale shipping brings tears to everyone's eyes. As the two gets lovey-dovey, the mother watched in silence as they seemingly forget that she was there. Even though she didn't eat much, she still felt full seeing the happiness of her daughter as her holes is about to be filled up soon. As the day ends, Nana-chan is grateful he visited. She insisted on exchanging contact information. Shukun suddenly ponders as he originally came to overcome the trauma of his first love, but he didn't expect they would exchange info and ending up empty-ended. He once again met the same bright and cheerful Nana, and seeing how she closed the distance between them effortlessly after years of separation, making his heart race like an idiot, although he ponders if she might have forgotten the past. He suddenly reached forward, raising her high up like a kid, shocking Nana-chan on his intentions. Shukun looks serious, exclaiming he won't drop her like he used to anymore, exclaiming her childhood dreams has now come true. Confusing Nana-chan about this dream he was pointing out. Although she seems to try and remember, he assured her of not having to force herself, urging to leave and talk later. As of today, while trying to overcome his trauma, he once again fell in love with the same person that gave it. Nana-chan is left crouching, exclaiming that she fully remembered her dream. Later that night she ponders of the events that unfolded today, having seen his childhood friend suddenly becoming a fine young, and having the means to lift her and princess carry her. Flustering at the sudden imagination, she exclaims that her dreams is getting princess carried as one of her dreams. The reason for it was simple, is when she got separated from her family at the theme park, crying as she tripped on the ground. A prince cosplaying suddenly picked her up, saving her, making her heart race that day. Back to the present, she is troubled about Shukun's words indicating of marriage. Although she isn't sure, but does that mean he was worrying about her dream the whole time? She immediately stood up, venting her worries. Although she is determined to get close with Shukun once again, she suddenly then had an idea on what to do. On Shukun's apartment, he received a text message from Nana-chan, asking if she could come over to his apartment next week. As April 1st arrive, he gets ready for the first day of work of the new year. But more importantly, the childhood friend whom he has a crush on is visiting him today. As he stepped outside, she was waiting for him, giving off a pleasant smile, wanting to take some photos to honor this day. He ponders of getting the heart-racing feeling again from her message. She seems to care so much about him, which in return he initiated of taking some commemorative photos, wanting to be more aware of himself as a man. He took the initiative of taking a lot more photos, engaging in flirting activities, giving the passers-by the glimpse of a young couple in the making. The two headed off to work, pointing out that Shukun take the train and she cycle, being her workplace so close. They suddenly stumbled upon the park where they used to play together, giving Shukun the idea that she became a little more energetic than usual. He ponders if it's due to his actions taking the initiative as a man. Being glad this is the result of it, he then got the bright idea of playing a little game. He tried inviting her but is interrupted by the sudden car noises. He made sure to lean in forward closer, asking if she could come on her day off to his house, indicating the body activities they could do. He waited in silence for her reply, but she couldn't seem to take his talking on her ears at ease, making her feel flustered over the thought. She ran away embarrassed, exclaiming to give him a reply later, shocking Shukun as the reply is put on hold. As she was riding her bicycle, she ponders the thought of his words, seeing it fully lewd, seeing as how they are old enough to do anything. She finds his voice deep yet calming and gentle, giving her the shivers down his spine. She suddenly snapped into reality. As she mustn't be zoning out and becoming a member of Truck-kun, a question pops in her head, questioning if she's the only one thinking of things that way, as she wanted to visit his house and have personal private time with him. Even though they are friends, she is making a worrisome face, becoming bright red, finding the situation to be a problem, wanting to have some cool-off time before she can get to see him again, asking Shukun to wait a little longer for her reply. On the other hand, Shukun starts his work, earnestly working, and is the talk of the women in the workplace, complimenting his body and looks. Although they gossip the lack of facial expressions, as they couldn't seem to have an idea of what he's thinking, as rumors spread around him, he is seen not distracted by this as he awaits the reply of his beloved childhood friend. As it's been 5 days, his question gets hanged. He became worried as his approach might have been too heavy, but what's done is done, and he could only await a reply. He then suddenly got a notification from Nana-chan. Eager to see her reply, she replied, wanting of coming to his house this Sunday, giving Shukun assurance and happiness. He stood up, being thankful being able to see her once again, although he faced another trouble, pondering what they should do as they're not little kids anymore. His mind seems to wander of engaging into adults' play, but he cleared his mind, putting things aside as it's off limits. His face was expressionless, but yet his heart was on fire at that moment. As Sunday arrived, Shukun is working out, trying to think of a way to solve his problems. The day arrived, but he couldn't find anything to prepare. He ponders as things might get troublesome and awkward, indicating they could just go out and enjoy the day. Nana-chan arrives with her pleasing vibes, gifting some boiled foods. As she gets welcomed, Shukun noticed something different, as she is not wearing clothes that are too revealing. Even though it's sunny today, it's not even that cold. Pondering if she took his advice, or is starting to see him as a man, Nana-chan on the other hand is happy, hearing as she is the first guest he ever had. Being grateful and glad to be his first, she compliments the apartment looking tidy, pondering what does his room looks like. Although he doesn't own much, he just has minimal stuff as it's more convenient for him to work out at the gym. She then tried using the barbells, being confident to lift it. She slips, falling over to Shukun. The situation suddenly became awkward as they stared in silence, leaving them to be embarrassed, trying to escape the situation. Although it would have been nice if they stayed like that for a little longer. As he arrives, Nana-chan brought out the album she made of the photos she took, creating a journal and congratulatory for the events in their life that happened. She also insists of having the photos he took adding to her collection. He became troubled as the photos he took is where they were standing together like couples. Even though he insists they're bad photos, she then caught on his lies, insisting there should be at least one good photo. She suddenly received the photo, giving her a shock, wondering if they were ever that close. She then leans forward onto his chest, exclaiming if they weren't childhood friends, other people might get the wrong idea when they are this close, asking to be careful. He also pointed out that she is sensitive to heat, yet wearing clothes like those. She suddenly exclaims, paying heed to his warning and wary of what others might not like. Shukun explains that not he dislikes it, but generally dressing like that would provoke men. This warning of his seemingly backfired, as he won't see her bare skin anymore. Pondering if this is what she really wanted, he exclaims she could be comfortable and take it off, insisting for her to immediately take off the hoodie and let the melons be free. She became troubled, asking to change, although it would be awkward if she's the only one to do so. She then asks if he could take his off. The two abide to each other's requests, being in shock seeing Shukun to be so muscular. She immediately wanted to change her mind, as seeing his muscles like that makes her to desire it, wanting to touch them. Shukun understood this, asking her to not hold back, which in return she became formal, thanking for the permission. As she starts going all over him, he also wanted to do something to her for a bit, touching her face, calling it soft, raising her. She became embarrassed over the sudden words. Nana-chan didn't deny this, showing her embarrassed state, giving Shukun determination to ravage her. She immediately brought up about her childhood dream, remembering it perfectly, being carried as a princess to her wedding. She ponders if she's the main reason he trained his body this much. Shukun ponders if it's related, as it all began when she broke his heart. But objectively speaking, it would be pretty depressing for someone to have trained their body for a childhood friend they haven't seen in 15 years. But in the end, he wanted to notice him a little more as to why he ended up saying suggestive words to her. But now he doesn't have any idea what to say, as a single mistake in his words could destroy her good impression of him. Pointing to a second heartbreak, he questions her curiosity. As she revealed if it's the reason he did so, she would be very happy. Although he seems to get the wrong idea that it would make her hate it, but fortunately no. She saw his determination, but also time and effort respecting that, and their farewell was like a breakup. Due to this, during their time apart, she pondered if he'd forgotten about her, and it would be ideal if she were the main reasons to be happy now. She apologizes for the trauma she gave at hurting his feelings in the process. Shukun hugs her, wanting to accept for who he is. He doesn't want her to apologize, as she doesn't need to, as he's already grateful about his training becoming worthwhile, giving closure to his journey. Once again reigniting the flame of a love hug after 15 years of separation. One thing led to another as they are not hugging each other, giving the fluffiness and softness due to her melons. Nana-chan asks to be let go, exclaiming it's too comfy being in his arms, making her feel weird down in the nether regions. Shukun seems to be intrigued by this and suggests staying like this for a while, giving her more than just a feeling. She became exhausted and read as any closer he also wouldn't be able to stand their attraction and desire to one another. He exclaims that his heart and chest is always open for her, looking forward on another chance like this. She became worried as his words might create misunderstandings and false expectations, wondering if he hurt her feelings. He suddenly pulled out the plushie he gave her, keeping it this whole time. Nana-chan sees this as he has been treating her like a child, not intentionally doing so. He ponders if he should treat her more like an adult going forward, which she decided to pass up on the offer, asking to stop showing of his appeal much. Although Shukun seems panicked when she first arrived, but after a while they just chatted and time passed in the blink of an eye, becoming evening already. She bid farewell, not wanting to bother him much, asking to eat together sometime. As he was walking her to her home, he ponders when he would see her again. Nana-chan exclaims of being fine on the weekends, asking to take some of his time. He accepted her offer immediately, but also revealed having a drinking party on Friday with her co-workers. He then suddenly ponders that Nana-chan drinks, imagining how would she looks like. He then insisted of picking her up after the drinking party by Friday. Although she exclaims being an adult and not a kid anymore, he still insists on going, not wanting her to walk home alone at night. As the newcomers' party started, she introduces herself, asking to be taken care of and working with all of them. The co-workers praises her energetic personality, but immediately questions if she has a boyfriend. They pointed out Shinozaki-sensei annoying questions. Although she pushed the idea if she already has someone she likes, Nana-chan imagines about Shukun being the only one, blushing at the idea. Her co-workers teases her even more. She then revealed his name, giving interest to her co-workers. As the drinks arrived, she gets interrogated of her childhood friend, pointing out his muscular and kind personality. She speaks of him highly, but pointed out he grew so much in 15 years. He only recently moved back when he got a job here. Although her co-workers seem to be more interested on how ripped is she talking, she exclaims his physique being nice. As they looked hard, describing its warm and soothing presence, the women gathered, wondering if they hugged already even though they aren't dating. She then revealed that he would keep his chest open for her. Suddenly Shinozaki became even more energetic, asking if they are absolutely no dating. As listening to this it seems like he is a pretty appealing person, she then speak up even though it might be too meddlesome as someone might take him outright asking her to be careful. Nana-chan couldn't hide her worries becoming scared of the situation, although they assured her that she was just speaking from her long-time boyfriend cheating on her. They gave her advices as slight miscommunications can destroy relationships. They want her to cherish this relationship with her childhood friend. She hasn't thought much into the future about this whole thing, although there is a possibility it may fall apart too. And if that were to happen, she would miss him, already sobbing like a child as she is meeting up with him right afterwards. As it's dangerous at night, and he would guard her going home, the woman seems intrigued on how overprotective he is. After the party they shortly met up. Seeing Nana-chan dash through the crowd, she immediately hugged Shukun, making him worried. She exclaims wanting to see him, as her co-workers watches from afar seeing the infamous Shukun in the middle of the bustling town. He didn't expect her to be so quiet after drinking, giving him the idea of taking her home with him. His co-workers sneaked up introducing themselves. They described his quiet and kind but muscular personality, just what Nana-chan said it to be. They then teases her wanting to love a boyfriend like him, giving Nana-chan worries. She then suddenly exclaims that he is all for herself, confusing everyone. As she claims him to be the person to have by her side, Shukun doesn't understand but wants to take her home immediately and never let her go. The co-workers on the other hand talked about the ordeal being too sweet. They bid farewell to one another, leaving the two alone. Shukun suggests to get going, but the city became alluring, wanting to book a room for the night. Although he couldn't, as his trust must be protected, already notifying her family beforehand. Shukun ponders if she's alright, which she seems to invite him for a drink, but he refused as alcohol isn't good for his muscle, plus she already drank too much, already asking to call it quits for today. She gets sad at the sudden thought of going home already, giving the idea that she doesn't want to go home yet. Although that may be true, he immediately became energetic of staying out. Although despite the alluring night, they hopped on a train, as she clings on to her, giving him the softness of her chest, giving the alluring and desirable looks. They shortly arrived at their stop, still clinging on to him, having fun as she hugs him. She ponders what he would look like if he got funny and all weak when drunk. Due to him being always serious, she would find him cute if he looked like that. He exclaims if she dislikes his serious face, which she doesn't, but asks him to bend down for a second, immediately engrossing him into her big jiggly melon puffs. Although she finds his sulking really cute and doesn't want to take her home yet that night. This ultimately led him to be broken, wanting to take her home to his place, and ponders they would forgive him once they see their cute grandchild's face. Time flew by quickly and her place is nearby. She then is thankful for guiding her. Seeing him made her happy as they also spent some quality time together. She is thankful and wanted to treat him with the amount of kindness he gave her. But right now he doesn't have the kindness but a heavy booming sense of desire towards her. She instantly got grabbed, wondering how she would treat him with lots of care. She tried explaining of taking care of him when he's troubled and the things he likes. He then leans forward, pinning her down, questioning if she would do the things he wants. Being so up close she couldn't breathe properly. Getting right next to her ears, she exclaims, not wanting to run away and asking what would he desire from her, being submissive to his commands. He then tried calming down. Seeing the situation gets out of hand, he apologizes for getting ahead of himself, asking to pretend it didn't happen. Nana-chan suddenly stopped him, giving her a kiss, always wanting to show her love and affections but also insisting to speak up on his desires, leaving Shukun to lost reasoning, as once again his was crushed as he realized the boldness of his childhood friend.